Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome to episode 47 of the Let's Play series here down on Court Farms Country Park. So I hope you're all doing very well and having a lovely day. We're here in the same game day as we were in the last proper episode. Putting aside the little cinematic Christmas thing that I cobbled together just for something to put out on Christmas Day. Yeah, we're still in the first day of September. It's 4:45 in the evening, and it is a beautiful evening down here at the minute. So I figured it would be a very good idea, slightly wise of me, just to take advantage of that and crack on with the drilling, because we still have 4 fields left to get drilled in this planting season. We're going to drill 91, 92, 90 and 109. That's just down the back over there. That's barley, oat, linseed and rye. So we're going to crack on with that in today's episode. Firstly, that's going to be the first thing we're going to get on with anyway. Onwards from the last episode, as you know, I had a bit of a debacle with the slurry tanks and whatnot, so thank you to all of you who did send over a few suggestions as to what I might be able to do, things to place down, etc. But obviously, as you know, onwards from the last episode, essentially all I did was I jumped into the game's XML file and I amended the capacity of our slurry tank here to now hold up to 500,000 litres, which was I think it was about 100,000 litres shy of what we were able to hold when we had that wooden tank behind the workshop there. So if we just pop it over to the cow pasture here, you can see there I have manually filled it back up again editing the XML, so we've now got 250,000 litres of slurry still in a total of 500,000 litres. So as I said, in the last episode, I didn't want to lose 500,000 litres of slurry, because that's pretty much what we had. So I know I haven't filled it up. Obviously, if 500,000 litres would fill it right up to the top, but 250,000 I think is perfectly fine for what we'll need for the near future. And obviously we're not going to be using any directly now anyway, so obviously during the next few game days, game weeks, months, whatever, the cows will carry on producing. So that quantity will just go up and up and up, so that's all good. So yeah, anyway, there's not a huge amount of daylight left in today's day, so I figured we've got barley selected in the seeder here, so we're going to crack on. We're going to go over to field... Where are we? We're going to start in field 91 here, which I plan on putting barley in. 92, we're going to put oats. Field 90, we're going to put linseed. And over in 109, we're going to put some rye. I don't think I'm going to necessarily get all 4 of those fields drilled this evening. We'll see where the daylight takes us. But for now, we're going to jump in. We're going to get cracking, and we're going to get some barley down in field 91. So I'll see you all in a wee while. Rightio, that's the drilling all done in that one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this field completely done. So we're gonna take this back to the farm. We're going to jump in our little stormtrooper. We're going to hook up the weeder and the roller. Not necessarily in that order, but we're gonna get this field completely boxed off. Essentially, is what I'd like to do. I think I did mention that a couple of episodes ago, didn't I? That I might just work on each field individually, one by one. We've still got tomorrow for a bit of drilling. So I think we'll get the other 3 fields done tomorrow, while we've still got a little bit of daylight here this evening. As I say, we'll get the rolling, the weeding, and potentially a topping up of the fertilizer, because we have obviously ran we've had the slurry tank in that field, so it's got some nitrogen in it. But obviously, as I say, we'll get the rolling, the weeding, and a little bit more fert topped up in there, and I think that will be a good end to the day. So I think we'll do the roller first. Actually, no, in fact, we'll do the weeder first. We'll run the weeder. This is something I've always had a bit of a funny thing with, even though you can't see the weeds in the field. Obviously, I've just drilled it. But yeah, the information tells me that there's weeds growing, and the way to get rid of them is with a weeder. So, and if I was to leave it till next month, I'll change again. It'd probably be some kind of herbicide or something that will need using to rid the area of weeds. So I think we'll just do what it tells us to do for now. So yeah, I'll pick you all back up very shortly when this field is completely done. Right, so that is the rolling and the weeding done. We've now got the fertilizer spreader hooked up here. Let's get that activated. Now I'm almost certain this... Yes, there's no problem whatsoever. We're going to have more than enough for this tiny little field in the hopper here. And this should bring the numbers back up to exactly where we want them to be for this particular field, for the barley. And it really isn't going to take too long at all. So it's just turned 6 o'clock, just gone. So I think we'll call this job for the 1st of September, and I think what we'll do, we'll get ourselves a bit of a snooze, come back tomorrow morning, and see where the game's going to take us from there. I'd like to have a quick check on our production system, see where we're at with the bakery, with the grain mill, and with the fabric production over there, the fabric and the clothes production. Go and see where we're at with them before we get into any field work. So. But yeah, we're minutes away from this one now, aren't we? That was a frustrating little thing. The field roller, I've got a couple of tiny little spots. That one there, and there's 3 over here, little tiny spots that the field roller just wouldn't react to for some reason. I don't quite understand why, but hey ho. Doesn't appear on the map PDA, so that's all that matters. But yeah, this is. Let's just check. Actually, I do have the. Yes, I've got the active automatic application rate activated. Yeah, minutes worth of work, eh? Completely done. There we go. I think there's a tiny little patch here, so let's just speed over there. There we are. Excellent stuff. Good job, well done. One more field completely boxed off. So, there we go. Expected yield 125%, pH and nitrogen values are perfect. That's just what we want to see. So, right, let's get ourselves back to the farm. Like I say, we'll head down for the night, have a bit of a snooze, and see where the game takes us first thing in the morning. So, I shall see you all in the morning. Right, morning everyone. What a wet and miserable day it is today. But we're just topping the cows up with what they need. They're almost completely empty of straw, so we're just going to get a few of these bales broken down in the feed mixer here to start off with. Just let that sit there. There we go. Let that do its thing for a few minutes, let it break down those straw bales, get that fed into the cow barn, and then we'll give them a couple of feed mixes and go from there. So, see you all in a few. Right, and I suppose now's the time to open our bunker, because we've got no more silage bales to feed the cows with, so it feels like it's forever since I've done that, but game time wise it's not been too long, has it? Because where are we? There we go. Because I had a stack to pull back on, so to speak. I'd filled up the feed mixer to cover us for a couple of feeds. So yeah, I haven't actually needed to open the thing yet, but now is the time. So let's jump out. And there we go. How far back does that open to? There we go. Okay. Now I've got to get my head around the ratios for this one, because previously it was, I think I used two silage bales for each mix. So, and that was 5,500 litres each, so we want 11,000 litres of... There we go. So this holds 2,508 litres, so... 4, 6... We're going to need 6 of these, I think, it would seem. In fact, let's bring up the F1 menu there. Let's extend the boom a bit. There we go, lift up. While it's still breaking down that bale of hay, should just be able to chuck that in there. Okay. Right, well, this is obviously going to take me a few moments, so I'll put you back up shortly when I've established what ratios need to be done, so see you in a few moments. Right, there we go. I was around about right. I've done six bucket loads of silage. There we go. And 2 bales of hay. And that's taken it to 94% capacity, so that'll do for now, I feel. Let's close that one down. Let's fire this around the corner and get them topped up a bit. They're not completely empty, but and they're not going to be totally full when we get to when we chuck this in, but they'll have more than they had before. That's all that matters. So I think while that is doing that, I can just leave that for now. I think I'd like to go and check on our production systems before we crack on for any field work today. The weather report has given that it's going to stop raining about 8 o'clock, so we've got a little bit of time ahead of us. It's gone 7:15, so we'll spend excuse me, we'll spend the next half an hour or so just trundling around, going and checking on everything. So one by one, I'll pick you up when we get there. Right, well, forgive me everyone, that was a bit of a non-event. There's very little going on at any of the production systems at the minute. There's not much going on at the fabric and the textiles side of things over there on the other side of the map at our new area. There's a small amount of wool there. The only thing worth doing anything with is the pallets of wool that we've got here. We've got just over 3 pallets here, so and as I say, we've got a tiny one over at the other sheep barn that's next to the wool mill, textile clothes place over there. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to very quickly load up the flatbed trailer with the wool that we've got. We'll run over there, we'll load it into the mill. I think this is all done with now as well. So yeah, we'll load stuff into the mill and get that carrying on with what it's doing. Give ourselves need to keep ourselves busy while it's still raining, don't we? So we'll let's get this parked up. Or do you know what? I'll just leave that there for now. I'm not going to bother detaching that. So we'll hook up the little red trailer, load up with wool, and I'll see you over there shortly. Right, let's unstrap this lot. It should just drop off. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Excellent stuff. So now if we jump into our production system menu, where are we? Scroll, scroll, scroll. There we go. So 8,311 litres of wool's in there. There's currently 13 litres of fabric. So does that mean it's produced? Oh, of course no, because it's distributing, isn't it? It's going straight to here. So there's now 1,255 litres of fabric and 0 of clothes. So I don't think... Oh, have I just pressed a button? Oh, right, I've travelled here by... Oh, okay. Yeah, still nothing. Still nothing. Right, okay, so... I think what we'll do... Before we crack on with all the important field work, I'm just going to go back to get back to the farm, twiddle my thumbs for a bit until about 8 o'clock when the rain should stop. And then I'm going to crack on with a bit more drilling in the other 3 fields that we need to get some crops into. And then go from there, essentially. So, I shall see you all as soon as possible. And this weather's changed. Right, there we go. Normal service resumes. The rain has stopped, so we're going to crack on with some drilling. And I've just left that telehandler slightly in my way. No, I'm alright. There we go. Right, so having already done a drilling cinematic this morning on this video, I'm going to get this... I don't know whether I'll do 1 or 2 fields right now. I might actually get all 3 of them done, to be honest. Thinking about it, because I do only have... In fact, let me just consult the PDA. But, no, I suppose, but, well... The sooner we get them in the ground, the sooner we can get them out the ground is where my mind is. So, with this being the last day in September, it is only 8 o'clock in the morning. I appreciate that, but I think for the sake of getting it done, I am going to get the next 3 fields, the last of these 3 fields drilled, and I'm going to get these done off camera and get them done, and then I'll pick you back up when that's done. And I think I'm going to do a bit of a rolling cinematic for the next one. So. Now what we're putting in this field, where are we? This is field 90, isn't it? So this is going to be linseed, I think. This is field 90, isn't it? Where are we? Yes, right. So I'm finally going to get the rolling done that I forgot to do from the last drilling, so that'll be nice. Right, yep. We'll crack on with this one. We'll get these 3 fields drilled, and I shall pick you back up again in a wee while's time. Right, there we go. All those 3 fields have now been drilled, and I have just ran the weeder in them as well, because it's just a job not worth displaying, quite frankly. It's I know I'm repeating myself here several times, but it just annoys me because it says I need to run the weeder. There's nothing to see. There's no weeds to remove. Sorry, it's just, yeah, I get it. It's just one of those things of the game, but hey ho. But we're going to stick with the TW15. I'm going to run the roller with this tractor, but presently it looks like it's been ran through a cow's digestive system, so I'm just going to give it a quick clean and make it a bit more presentable for the cinematic, as it were. But on top of that, I have just been having a bit of a think again. I'll show you what I've got in mind. Let me just give this thing a quick spritz off. Get rid of the muck. Clean off these tines here. There we go, that's looking a bit better, isn't it? Barely see out the window. Right, okay, so yeah, we'll hook up the roller in a second. So if I just jump quickly into the construction mode. Right, so field 109 here. This is the field I've just been running the weeder in for the last few minutes. One thing that has completely slipped my trail of thought, maybe, is this little parcel of land here. Now, it's just over 42 grand. It's not divided by any actual hedgerows like a lot of the fields are. I know you can remove if you're fluent with Giant's Editor, but unfortunately I'm not. So I'm not going to be mucking around with these things like that, you know. But if I was, you know, things like this would be great, because I could remove this, for example, and in the fullness of time buy this land and then join the 2 fields together and make a big whopper of a field and all that. I know what's available to me if I was to learn Giant's Editor. But at the minute, I'm not. Anyway, this bit isn't. These are just decorative hedges, as far as I'm concerned. I'm pretty sure that if I was to just to pop into landscaping mode, paint on some grass, yeah, I can just get rid of them. So, with that in mind, and this piece of land being about, just like I say, just over £42,000, what I'd like to do is purchase this plot of land, remove these hedges. I think you can clearly see where I'm going with this. Extend this field into this plot of land here and make it a bit more, well, bigger. I'm not going to take it right into the corner here, but, you know, just bring it nicely and make a nice little rounded edge here kind of thing, and just increase the size of this field by an acre or so, because that's pretty much what it is. I think it's just over an acre or so. But at the same time, remove this awkward piece of land here. It's never sat right with me, this. Don't get me wrong, it works, it's fine, and, you know, obviously I like to use courseplay and whatnot, and courseplay does work okay. It does plot a route through this piece of land okay, but it is a bit awkward, and occasionally a lot of the tractors try and turn around in here and bump into trees, and it just gets a bit frustrating. So what I thought I'd do is purchase that piece of land there, like I say, increase the field into this piece of land, and then essentially border the field around here and turn this bit into grassland. And then what that will then enable me to do in the near future is give me another little area of land here to build on. Maybe pop another workshop down. I mean, who doesn't like another workshop? I do. I know that the farm, there is a couple of areas, like for example this one here. I've very rarely put stuff in here, just because, I mean, it's fine, but it's a bit tight. And I know Oxy was very kind enough to give these steel beams no collisions, so you don't actually bump into them, which is great. I get that, but as I say, it's just a bit tight, and I've not really done anything with it. But I have had a bit of a play around while Coursplay's been doing its thing with the weeder jobs over the last half an hour or so. And yeah, I feel there is something I could do with this area to, as I say, pop another workshop down, another shed, give myself another place to pop a few tools and stuff, because there are a few tools lying around that could do with being put away, and I do fancy having a bit of a reorganisation in a couple of places. This shed, for example, in here, that I've got the cultivator, the plough, and the fertilizer spreader and whatnot. Again, I've used this since day one, haven't I, for these tools? But I don't know. I could possibly pop another couple of shelves down and use this as kind of like pallet storage and big bag storage and stuff, and that, I think that'd work better. And then these tools here, plus things like the bunker leveler here, and maybe the planter that we've got sat under the canopy over here. Essentially, what I'm saying is I can play a bit of musical implements, and spread them out a bit. But I'm justifying it to myself. That's what I'm doing. I'd like another workshop. But I think it would look pretty cool. Bit of landscaping around here. As I say, cut this area out of the field, because I'm pretty sure, obviously I've got no real way of measuring it, but I'm pretty sure this little area of land here that just like kind of forks off at the top of this one is smaller than this area of land here. So bring this area of land into this field, remove that one, have a bit of construction, and all, what it also does, obviously, it gives me a bit more personalisation on home farm, which is something we all love to do. And another thing that it might do, I haven't given it any too much thought yet, but I have mentioned over past episodes that I would like to relocate this lime stone crushing machine, because it is a bit of an eyesore. It's a bit, it's a bit meh, but it is very useful when we do obviously plough under a field and get some stones out of it. It's very handy because, just to turn that into lime and have essentially my own free supply of lime. So that's where I'm thinking of going with it. And as I say, this area of land is 42 grand, so I could afford to buy that now. And because we have literally just drilled this piece of land here, if I was to act quick enough, as it were, I could get this bit done, sorted, ploughed, created, and drilled, and scanned and all that kind of stuff, and I can pretty much get it all done, and it should germinate at the same time as this. if we get it done today, September the 2nd. It's only 20 to 11 in the morning, so I think I might have the chance to do that. What I won't do yet, because I can't afford to buy any workshops yet, I will keep this area of land as part of the field yet, possibly until harvest time, unless I get impatient. You know what I'm like. Sometimes I might just go, do you know what? Nah, we'll just do it. But until I make that rash decision, I will leave that as it is for now. But aside from that, we're going to crack on with the rolling. So I'm going to hook up the TW to the roller now that it's a bit more presentable. There is a funny haze to these windows. I haven't added. I don't think there's any window tint or anything on these, but as you can see, there's like a milky, misty haze to the windows. But at least they're clean. They're not brown. Right. So as I say, we'll hook this up to the roller. We'll get that done, and I'll pop that into a cinematic. And I may well have a bit of a dabble around at the same time and see what I can get done with that little bit of a field extension. So, as I say, I shall crack on. I shall pop this into a cinematic. I'm sure I can squeeze through there, can't I? There we go. Let's lower that down. Excellent stuff. Let's jump out of here. Lovely stuff. Right. Connect up the roller. And that was another thing as well, another thing that went through my mind. Obviously, I think we're now in year 4 of this save. There we go. And it was that thing that got me to thinking, that the herbicide liquid fertilizer spreader. In the menus, my precision farming score at its highest point is at 92. Now, and I appreciate some of these feels like that one there, 83. These two here, 62, 89. Why is that one at 62, actually? I'm not too sure. But the one thing that does, I say make me happy, that's a silly thing to say, but it seems that most of them at the minute were in profit with the field. So there, as you can see, the total of that, we're at £9,364 in profit for that field, just under 15.5 for that one. Just over 36.5 for that one, 9,100 again for that one, 17.2, 18, that plot of land, which essentially just that 32.1, 67, just over 67.5, and this one 51.5. Sorry, 51, and this one 33. So we're doing all right in that respect, but I would like to get my precision farming score closer to 100. But if I go to my environmental score details, my nitrogen is not at full marks. The pH value seems to be almost there. Soil sampling's fine. Tillage is almost there, but it's the weed control. And am I correct in saying, viewers, I know a lot, I'm almost certain that most of you know a lot more about this than I do, but when it comes to the weed control, it's something to do with the herbicide spraying, isn't it? Even if I was to, because I think I saw one of Scruff's videos a while back that even if you connect a tractor up to this and fill it with herbicide and just switch it on and off in a field, that will then do something to the precision farming score for the weed control. Am I correct in saying that? I have stayed away from using herbicide on this save purely because I've always felt that, regardless of the precision farming score, I've always felt that I'd prefer to have my weed control done naturally and mechanically with that thing. But for the purposes of achieving closer to a 100 precision farming field score, I'd have to use that with some herbicide, wouldn't I? Am I correct in saying that? Any help would be, as always, greatly appreciated from you all. Anyway, so yeah, that's where my mind is at the minute for the near future. As I say, I can afford to buy that plot of land, which I think I'm going to do, but I can't afford to place any sheds or anything down yet. So we will. I'll have a look into that. I will probably keep with the current theme of using another 1 or 2 of Lancy Boy's sheds, because I just think they fit the map and the surrounding area absolutely perfectly. So anyway, enough of that. We're going to crack on with some rolling. I'm going to get, as I have just done with the drilling, I'm going to get these 3 fields done in one and squeeze them all into one cinematic. So we'll crack on with that, and I shall pick you all back up in a wee while when the rolling's done, and I may well have got a bit further on with the field extension down there of 109. So, see you all soon. Right, so that's 2 of the 3 fields rolled. I know I initially said I was going to get all 3 done, but what I've done is I've ran the roller in the 2, and what I did off camera as well, sneakily in between, was run the fertilizer spreader and just top up the fert in these 2 fields. These are now both completely sorted. The keen-eyed viewers of you might have noticed that somewhere near the beginning of that cinematic, the lighting might have looked slightly different, because what I did was, onwards from me noticing that the weird sheen on the windscreen of this tractor, if I jump back into it now, it seems to be back to normal. What I did was I disabled the relight mod that I've always ran on this save. It's a beautiful thing. I love the relight mod. What it does to the sky and the sunsets and stuff, I think it's beautiful. It's an incredible mod. But just for my own curiosity, I came out the game, disabled it, and came back in again, because I do appreciate that Court Farms on its latest update did have something of a lighting update, I suppose. I believe Bullet Bill had his hand in quite a bit of it, I think, if I'm right in saying. But yeah, it's a really beautiful thing running without relight, just on the base game map settings, as it were. I don't know whether it's a bit of the placebo effect, sorry, but things in the distance just look to be a little bit more detailed, a little bit more crisp. Again, as I say, that might just be me seeing things that aren't there, but with the lighting engine now running slightly differently to what it was before, it just feels different, but I still like it. I think it looks incredible. But what it did do, as I say, it got rid of that weird... It's still there a little bit, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was, and I appreciate that the lighting reflections off the windows are going to do some things, but from inside at least anyway, whenever I jumped into cab view, the windows were, like I say, they looked like they had some kind of like silver window tint film on, and were very reflective and a bit weird. So anyway, enough of that. As I say, we've got those two fields sorted. The reason why I've only done the 2 now instead of carrying on and doing the 3 is because I have made an executive decision yet again. What I'm going to do, I am going to perform all those field alterations that I talked about before in the new down near field 109. I have purchased that extra plot of land, so we're now financially we're sat at £32,800. Spent 42 grand on that bit of land. I have removed, just using the landscaping tools, I've removed the bushes and essentially got that little area of land ready to get working on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do it off camera because there's going to be a fair bit of faffing around, but what I plan on doing is ploughing it under, cultivating it, liming it, scanning it with the tool, and then picking up the seeder and planting the crop in there. Now, what have we got in field 109 at the minute, actually? Where are we? Growth, crop types. It is... I think it's rye. Yes, rye. And because it needs rolling, I figured it would be... to save having to get the roller out twice, as I say, I'll essentially do what I want to do in this little corner here. I'm going to get all that bit done, and I am going to now, I'm also going to cut off this weird little section up here. I know some of you might appreciate that I'm going to lose a small amount of the yield and the crop total that we get from the harvest, but honestly, I'm not too bothered about that whatsoever. I'm really not that bothered. This area over here is bigger than that, than this area here. So yeah, I'm just going to paint that all under, and then this area here is ready for me to, well, when I've got some money to build on it. So yeah, so that's the plan. So I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll pick you up as soon as possible when this place looks a little bit different to what it does now. So, see you all soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new and improved and slightly bigger than before field 109. So all the work's been done. I have, as you can see, we have expanded the field over yonder. Forgive me, I did forget to jot down and take note of the actual increase in size on the land when it comes to the acreage before. I should have selected and jotted down what the land size was before and then done it afterwards, but yeah, forgive me, I have forgotten to do that, but I am 99.9% certain that it is now a bigger field than what it was before. So what have I done? I have ploughed, cultivated, limed, scanned, drilled, fertilized and rolled, and it's all done. And I have also done what I said I was going to do up here, which was essentially remove this part of the field to prepare and make way for a bit of construction in the future. I know it's on a hill, but I've got a few ideas in mind. Nothing too special. I'm not going. Don't get me wrong. It's probably nothing to get too excited about. But I just quite fancy the idea of having a couple more sheds, a couple more spaces to put stuff, build on the farm, as it were, and make it well, even bigger than it is. But yeah, just make you, instead of this being arable land, because it is a bit of an awkward shape. It did obviously, you know how I like to use courseplay. It did make courseplay a little bit awkward up here. It worked, don't get me wrong, it wasn't the end of the world or anything, but I just quite fancied doing what I've done here, and now I can I'm free to place a few things down if I can, and do a bit of landscaping and make it well, a bit different to what it is. So let me know what you think. Do you think it's all good? It is, the field area itself is bigger, so if I go into the PDA there, essentially this area here is what we've got rid of, and this area here is what we've gained. So the land itself is bigger. Bigger field, bigger yield, I'd say. But yeah, awesome. Really quite happy with that. So, I think I'm going to call it here for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a bit of a busy day, haven't we? We've got a bit done. All the fields bar 50, is it 57, 58 and 59? Yes, 57, 58 and 59 obviously have the oilseed radish growing in them. That's going to become hopefully a bit of fertiliser to cultivate under when it comes to the first few months of next year to get the corn, sunflowers and soybeans planted. But yeah, all the other fields are now done, dusted, essentially can be left to their own devices for a few months to get growing. We do have the small grass field over here that is almost ready to cut. I think next month it'll be the second growth stage, so that'll be ready to get mown and tedded and turned into bales of hay. But yeah, as for what happens in the next episode, I'm not too sure. We shall have a good think before I hit the record button. But regarding this episode, yep, I think I'm going to knock it in the head for today. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you for your time. I really hope you've enjoyed the video and found it even remotely fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to my channel and you've liked the content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining the channel, jumping on board, and giving the video a like if you can, if you have liked it, of course. And as always, if you're in the market for a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, as I am a Giants partner, there is a host of links in the video description below. If you fancy helping out a content creator at the same time as making a purchase, I would be massively appreciative. So, as always, thanks again everyone, and I shall see you in the next episode.